Hi guys, this is Locke. In this video, I'm going to talk about the new Years Yeonhee and how you can get this pet and if it's worth it to get the pet or not. So first of all, where can you acquire the pet? You have to craft this pet using an item that you have to get from the store. This is where you would craft it. You need 8,000 of Yeonhee's gifts. And to get Yeonhee's gifts, you have to go to the store. You can go to the common store over here, and you have to buy these pouches for gold and for rubies. You can buy these pouches over the next 13 days, including today it's 14 days. And you will in total spend 1.5 million a day for 14 days to get 3,500 of these Yeonhee's gifts. And the other 4,500 you would actually have to get using rubies. The total cost of rubies that you would spend on this would be 27,000. You also would get some other items from these pouches as well, but in my opinion, it's not really worth it to get it for rubies if you're not going for the pet. I don't think the items that you're getting is chances are you'll probably not get anything significant from it. So I don't really recommend going for the one that you're going to get with rubies. Just go for the gold one if you're not going for the pet. And so is it worth it spending 27,000 rubies on this pet or not? Well, 27,000 rubies is almost the same as 1.5 pities on the summon banner, because one pity is like 15,000 rubies, right? So keeping that in mind, let's think about it. So let's look at what this pet does. She is focused on field exploration. So let me just read the stats real quick. So her passives, the last two passives, the first passive increases the chance of encountering a field boss by 30%. And then secondly, it increases the attack and move speed in field exploration mode. So first of all, I'm going to explain what the increase the chance of encountering a field boss by 30% means. It doesn't mean that you add 30% flat. It's actually 30% of the base chance. So to make it easier, I'm gonna just pretend it says 50% instead of 30%, right? So if it's a 50% increase, when you start your field exploration, it says 0%, and then when you when you do the quest, it increases the chance from 0% to 3%. Now, if that's a 50% increase, that goes from like say 3% to 4.5%. So that's like 50%, right? So it would go 4.5%, 9%, 13.5%, and so on and so on, instead of 3, 6, 9. So that's what it means by this chance encountering. It doesn't mean it goes from like say 3% to 33%, right? It's just an increase of the base chance by 30%. But still, that's over the long term, I think that's pretty significant. I don't think there's another pet that comes out with a better chance of encountering a field exploration boss. Like, this is the best one that's out even in Korea. So there's definitely a long time span that you'll be using this pet in the field exploration if you get it. Also, whenever you encounter a boss, you're not using any maps. So whatever you get from it, even if you happen to get just blue items or crappy items, all of those items that you're getting are for free. So you want to definitely encounter bosses as often as possible, because that's basically extra loot that you're getting without spending any maps for it. And that's true for both the normal maps and the green maps. So this is a pretty good passive for field exploration. Like, I know a lot of people are using Pasma instead, which is an increase of 18% instead of 30%. And they're using that because, again, they're encountering bosses more often. It might be a little bit slower to kill the bosses if you're using blue pets instead of red ones, but still a lot of people are using the Pasma pet just because they want to increase the bosses as often as possible to get as many loot as they can from it. So that's one thing, and in my opinion, that's a pretty good passive to have for the field exploration. And field exploration is a huge part of the game, so that's pretty good as well. Most players that have been around for like at least a month or so are probably okay to farm the hard modes of field exploration. It's the very hard mode that gets a little bit tricky, But the people that I know that are farming very hard mode, most of them are able to do it. It just takes a very long time. Like it might take like say 10 minutes a monster or something, and that it's quite a bit of time. Usually the setup is like one tank, two healers, and one DPS, and that's why it takes quite a bit of time to kill. So having a pet like this that gives you plus 11% attack on top of that is going to help you to even do the very hard field exploration as well, because it's going to cut down on the time it takes to kill those greed map bosses. But this pet is also useful in other areas as well. It's not only limited to the field exploration, in my opinion. Because let's compare the stats of this, like the other stats, right? The attack, defense, and HP by 10%. If you look at any blue pet, the stats for a blue pet instead is only 6%. So you're getting an increase of attack, like a 4% increase of attack, defense, and HP flat. And you're also getting other, benefits as well, like increased gold gain and increased item drop rates upon defeating monsters. So for example, if you're doing like AFK farming in the story mode, you're hoping that they drop leathers and leathers and gemstones and things like that. So you have a 20% increased, 20% chance of those items dropping instead of instead of using a blue pet. And also the active skill is also pretty good, because the active skill, first of all, has a much bigger heal. It's 50% heal plus 9,000 compared to something like 30% plus 5,000. So it's a pretty significant jump, especially once you start getting very high levels of HP on your units. Secondly, it removes debuffs from all allies. This is also a pretty good effect to have, especially in arena, because CC is very common in arena. So having an instant removal of CC, in my opinion, is quite powerful. So you can even use it in arena if you don't have other legendary pets. Like if you have another legendary pet, most likely that pet is probably going to be better than this one most of the time. However, if you only have blue pets, this might still be the pet that you can use in other modes as well, like for example arena, because you still get the increased attack, defense, and HP buff, and you get a bigger heal, and you get a debuff removal and skill cooldown decreased by 40% as well. So this pet is not only good in the field exploration, but if you don't have a different legendary pet, you can also use it in all the other modes of the game as well. There might be some pets that are better for very specific circumstances, like for example, if you want the immortal on everyone because you want to survive a raid boss's suppressor skill or something, then you might want to use Valder. But for general use, this is still a pretty good pet. So I definitely think it's worth it for people that don't have any legendary pets at all. For the ones that do, I think it'll still be worth it over the long run, just because of all the extra bosses that you'll be fighting from the 30% drop rate. The only thing you have to consider is the 27,000 rubies, if you are able to afford that or not. So anyway, I hope this video helps you guys to see if you want to invest in this pet or not. If you are having trouble coming with the 27,000 rubies, one of the options is to buy one of the scenario packs. It is a bit pricey, but it's a lot cheaper to buy a scenario pack, which gives you about 20,000 rubies, than to buy like rubies in some other way, right? So those are your options. There's also one other item as well that's being sold that's going to help you a little bit. Like if you can't meet the price point of one of the scenario packs, you can buy this item, the New Year's Lucky Pouch Pack. So you'll spend 7 times either $21 Canadian. I don't know how much that is in US, but $21 Canadian to get 750 of these Yeonhee's gift. So 750 of 8,000, so almost 10% less. So that might be a price point that you might be more comfortable with, but you still have to spend rubies to get the rest. If you can't figure out a way to meet the entire like 8,000 gifts, I don't recommend going halfway. Like, definitely buy the gold ones for sure, but I don't recommend buying the ruby ones unless you can meet the entire criteria to craft the pet. Like, just don't go and stop at like say 5,000 or 6,000 or something. You either need to go to 8,000 or don't bother. So that's my opinion anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have other questions or comments, leave me a comment below and I'll do my best to help you guys out. But that's it for now. I'll see you guys next time. Take care now. Bye.